Welcome, Bobcat Nation, to another edition of the Coach's Corner. This week we have Coach Dell Smith of the football program, and we've got a lot of good things to talk about today. Good day,
How you doing, man?
Hey, 2-0. 2-0.
2-0.
Program's first time sitting at 2-0 since 2011. And, coming into the league with the preseason rank of 6th, to be sitting here right now, what's that mean to the program?
Well, I think it's a testament to really just our players and our coaches' hard work this off-season. We've put a tremendous amount of work into recruiting and the off-season workouts and certainly through camp. So we're not surprised to be here. We expected to have a competitive football team, and it has certainly panned out that special teams and defense early in the season can help you win football games, and that's kind of where we sit. We've got a tough one coming up Thursday night.
Well, first, looking back to the win over West Liberty, and you mentioned special teams and defense. First, the defense. We had noted there is the first time in 20 years that there's been a shutout. They're so rare in the college game these days. But to do that, and you haven't allowed a rushing touchdown yet, just the play of the defense to this point.
Yeah, Coach Martin and Coach King they do a great job schematically putting that together. Obviously, I have some input coaching the linebackers on the Division II level. If you're a head coach, you coach a position, and I also do the special teams, a lot of them, with some help from the assistant coaches. So Coach Martin's put together a great game plan for the last 2 weeks. We also have 4 captains on the defensive side of the ball, so we have great leadership on that side of the ball. And I think anytime, both in all 3 levels of your defense, on the D-line, linebacker, and in the secondary, you got a captain on each one of those levels. It's easy to have an influx of some younger guys that they can show them the way.
And the combination of the athleticism and the physicality, it's really bubbled up. You had a lot of returnees on that side of the ball. Being just about the leadership of those guys that have came back, the role they've played in what the defense has done
Sure,
so far.
you look at just up the pipe. You've got Cody Good, who's a captain, who's a senior. You've got Harry Lewis, who's in his second year starting. Gabe Moultrie and Brandon Grayson are our 2 starting inside linebackers that are both returners. Chad Pinson's a senior, that's our starting cat. You look in the secondary, and you've got Nate Simmons, who's a returning starter. You've got Booby, Anthony Robinson, who's a returning starter. You've got a returning starter at corner. Trey Lee's a returning starter at safety. So it's a veteran crew that's played in a lot of football games, and it's starting to show early.
Yeah, and that shutout was big, and you made some plays there at the end on that last Westwood drive to preserve it. Special teams, you noted that, and it was bang bang. It was 20-0 right off the bat. A punt return touchdown, a block punt, and then we get the roughing the punter call there to set up that 3rd touchdown. Just about the special teams play.
It's something that we practice a lot, and we just put a tremendous amount of emphasis on it. I think it can be the difference in a lot of football games, especially early. We work on blocking kicks every week. We scheme that from the special teams perspective, and anytime you can get explosion returns in the kicking game, we see the biggest momentum changer in a football game is a blocked kick. For the 2nd week in a row, we got Special Teams Player of the Week in the Mountain East Conference, and Tyler Fisher and Juwan Lindsay, so that's exciting as well for our guys to get recognized for that.
And we'll go back to our last conversation about finishing, and you were in this position a few times last year where you were up 3 touchdowns at 21-3, and the team was not able to hold it. Saturday, the offense was able to move the chain some. Defense got a defensive touchdown in the second half. Just about being able to execute, what you've been preaching since the preseason here.
I think it's 2 weeks in a row. One, you look back to Concord, and you go down 6-0 early with the interception for a touchdown, and our guys were able to respond in that one. And then in this one, we were up 17-0 on West Liberty last year at the half, and proceeded to turn the football over on our first 3 possessions of the second half. So for our guys to get wins in both of those scenarios, one being down and one being ahead, I think it's good for the future in that your guys know that they can win either one of those games in either scenario.
Yeah. Well, that was big, and I think that's like you said, kind of feeds on itself, and it can become a trend. And you mentioned Fisher. He didn't quite have the place kicking game that he had in the Concord game, but punting wise, field position wise. He's already put 4 balls inside the 20 on opponents in 2 games, and I mean almost half of what he did last year. Just about with what the special teams play's done for you field position wise.
Yeah, I made a point on the play where he got roughed, where they had the roughing the kicker penalty. There was a great effort by Juwan Lindsay, one to bat that ball out of the end zone, and that ball got spotted at the 1 yard line. But that got lost a little bit in the penalty because then we scored the next play. But I called Juwan out the week before on a poocher scenario where we were trying to down the ball, and I saw a 2-speed loaf out of him, and he got that corrected in week 2 and actually had a great effort play and got the ball down inside the 1. So the field position battle and hidden yardage is one of the key statistical areas on our WIT chart of what it takes to win. Net punting and average starting field position on kickoff returns. So we calculate that every week, and our guys they put a lot of value in those 2 categories.
Well, offensively, we did put up a lot of numbers, but the guys made the plays to move the chains, preserve the win. I know you're looking to get more as far as the production on that side against Fairmont. What are you looking for offensively? Going into the Fairmont game.
Yeah, I think in fairness to them, they've been calling offense with significant leads in the second half for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And that changes our mentality. And when he chimes in on 3rd down and says run it or throw it, we've been a little bit conservative in that, just in that particular down and distance, because we felt like we were in a position where we could eat clock and win a football game with a big offensive line and some physical backs. So time will tell, because there's certainly we anticipate Thursday night being a close football game and one where our guys are going to have to execute in the 4th quarter to win it.
Yeah, I know last year, Fairmont came in here with a dominant, conference record, and you had them tied going into 4th quarter.
17-17.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big game. Now going up there to Rozier Field and doing it at their place. What kind of battle are you looking for with the Falcons here?
I mean, they're a physical group. They're 2 games removed from playing in the national playoffs. 10-2 team last year. There's a lot of returners on that team. They know how to win football games. They were down 24-17 with 5:42 left on the clock last week and managed to score a 60-yard touchdown and kick a last-second field goal. So they know how to win close football games. We anticipate and expect this one to be a close football game. And it should come down to the 4th quarter, which is what we expect and the position that we hope to be in every week.
And with 2 weeks in now, I mean, just the league. I mean, we talked about the parity; it's still there. Just as you see how the Mountain East as a league unfolding here, good football, good tight football, a lot of good games. Just your take on that right now.
It's great football, and I say it every week. You have to bring your A game every week in this league, and Urbana's a much improved football team. They played 2 close games, I think 3-point games the last 2 weeks. We certainly know what it's like to be in those games. Shepherd and Notre Dame are performing at a high level. Notre Dame came back with a big win over Glenville, so there's a lot of parity in this conference, and you can't look ahead and you can't look back. It really has to be a 1-week season. That's what we preach to our guys, and that's been our approach this week as well.
Well, last question. I got the 2-minute call here from Keenan. So we've got the crowd, just the atmosphere here. It was a nice crowd. Of course, you get up early, it helps, but it was a good atmosphere. Just your statement on that from Saturday.
One, thank you. I mean, we appreciate the support, and I know our guys certainly appreciate it, and it proves to be a great game day atmosphere here at Wesleyan. I think, statistically, we've finished 2nd in the league in attendance for the last couple of years. And we'd love to see that to continue. Hopefully, as we win more football games, people get more excited about the program, and we continue to have great home crowds. But that certainly is a home field advantage for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the night. I'm looking forward to Thursday night. So best of luck up there at Fairmont.
Appreciate it.
Tell Woody I said hello, and let's go up there and get one.